Alright, so here we have a H&R 32 top brake. This specific gun is from, at least from the research I've done on the serial number, from mid-1898. So it's an older firearm, an antique firearm. These are pretty common out there. There's quite a few of them. They're pretty cool little collectibles, little tinker toys I have. So something neat you have. This one was loaned to me to fix, or at least mess with, attempt to fix. The issue that's happening right now is when I pull the trigger doesn't return. That's at least from what I've read online. It's pretty common. Trigger return spring inside of it either breaking or becoming missing from someone else taking it apart or losing it, or somehow or another it just becomes gone. So I'm gonna go ahead. I've looked all over line trying to find another video or anything like that. Kind of going through how to take it apart and replace one of those springs. Um, the springs themselves, I couldn't find like an actual spring for the specific gun. I mean, there is springs for the specific gun, but they require fitment. Um, I found one through Wolf Springs online. It's a little kit. It's called the Blitz Pack number 7 V-type trigger springs. It wasn't much. I think it was, I don't have the receipt here, but I think it was like 11 bucks or so. Comes with a bunch of different assortment of springs here. I got another one here in a vise I'm going to use, but all different sizes and widths and lengths. Kind of just an assortment for multiple different firearms. Just kind of find which one works best for you, and then like I said, none of them are going to fit perfectly. They're all going to require fitment, and by fitment I mean having to do some dremeling down or filing down of the spring itself to get it to fit inside the firearm. Alright, so we're going to have to take it apart today. Just going to go ahead and pop this guy out. Okay, we'll pop it on a second ago. Alright, there's your cylinder, pops right off there. There's a little kind of hairspring right there. You really want to watch out. That thing don't fly out, or it's really hard to see. And if it does drop out and you don't notice it, good luck finding it. All right, so you'll get a little block over here. I'm not going to bother taking the whole barrel and whatnot off. I'm just going to go ahead and pop these 2 pins out right here. That's going to drop down the trigger guard, which is going to expose where a spring needs to go. Get your little punch here. Go ahead and tap one guy out there. It should come out pretty easily. You shouldn't have to hammer too hard on them. Just like that. Alright. Get my 2 pins out. One there. Another one fell through. I like the little magnet trays too, especially dealing with little pins like that. Don't want to lose them. Alright, so this guy right here, you're going to kind of finagle with it. It's easier, at least for me, with the trigger turn spring being broken. It's nice to disengage that trigger and kind of get it up out the way. Kind of press up inside and then pull down. Alright, and then you got that little guy down in there too. So you gotta get it cleared down. Pull the trigger out the way, and it should slide right out just like that. And make sure you don't lose this guy here. He just kind of floats in there, and when you put it together, he's gonna sit right in like that, and that pin will line up. So, to my surprise, I've taken this part already. When I took it apart, there just wasn't a spring in there at all. So that explains why the trigger was not returning. There was no trigger return spring. So when fitting this thing up, this is the one I selected here. Let me get out my vise. Kind of looks like that guy a little bit, one of the wider ones. And it's a little bit shorter on the long side and a little bit longer on the short side compared to the other springs, if that makes sense. Alright, so where this guy's going to want to sit, you got this little lip right here. He's going to want to sit right down in there. So as you can see, it's just a hair long. We're going to have to shave some of this off here to get her to sit flat down in there. Once that side's done, I'm going to have to fit the long side. Whenever installing this, you have that little notch right there in the middle. That spring long side is going to fit right into that notch and then kind of just sit right there. And then whenever you put the trigger guard back down on top, it's gonna kind of sit in there like that. That makes sense. But as you can see, both sides are quite a bit too long, so we're gonna have to go ahead and throw this guy in the vise and get grinding. We'll see you guys after that. Alright, so just kind of show you guys what I'm doing. I got a spring here in the vise. Just taking a little Dremel, like a little jeweler's Dremel here, and just kind of going at it a little bit at a time. Not really measuring anything out, just kind of dremeling, fitting. So got the shorter end to about the length that we want here. Still gotta work on a longer end, but to tell the shorter end, like I said before, with the trigger guard here, you get that little lip. So with that shorter end to sit in there just right. You could kind of set it in like that and do that, and you know, it would, oh, it fits, but you can kind of see light through it. I kind of wanted to get it flat, so kind of the way I did to make sure it was fitting good, I kind of rocked it in this way, pushed the elbow up towards it, and then kind of pushed down, and pops right in. I know it looks like there's a gap there, but it's not. I didn't see any light through it, nothing like that. So we're going to the bottom. Now we got to start working on the top. Like I said before, the top goes in that one little spot right there, that little groove in between on the trigger. So we got some fitting to do on that guy. He's got to come off quite a bit, actually. So we'll see here. That kind of rides right there. It's going to ride in there. So yeah, it's going to be, sheesh, about a ½ inch or so we're going to have to take off this guy. So let's get grinding. Okay, so we've got the spring file down, or we'll cut, because it was about ½ inch to 5/8 or so on the long side, too long, so I cut it off with a little cutting wheel and then grinded it down to smooth it out and fine tuning fitment and whatnot. So let's go ahead and get this guy put back together. I've already kind of rough fit it back together just to verify that it actually did fit, and operated and whatnot. So let's get it back together. Make sure that small side goes down there. Also can't forget this little doohickey here. Can't remember the name of this guy, but yeah, gotta make sure he's riding around in there whenever we rock her in. So set him to the side for a second. Whenever we put it into, we want to make sure the long side of our spring here finds its way in that little notch right there in the middle. So go ahead and rock them in there. Before we make it too far, go ahead and put this guy in there. Right back around, there we go. All right. Get that pushed back forward. All right. So, get this kind of lined up in here, popped up in there. Get this push up because there's going to be tension on that new spring. That pops in. Get our front pin here, kind of squeeze up, push in, get lined in, take our brass hammer, tap her on in. Front side in, now the rear. So I like to take a little punch and kind of try and get everything somewhat lined up before. Got it. Tapping the rest of the way through. Alright, cool. Now, let's see if she works. Moment of truth. Hey, look at that. I'd say that's a win. Alright, So get her finished, put back together. This is that little kind of hairpin spring I was telling you about that rides right in the top of this cylinder tube here. So go ahead, remember which way that went in. Oh, flat side was forward. And put it in that little channel. Hard part to get lined up. There it is. Push and it pops right in right there. So that's what it'll look like. Take our cylinder, push that guy in there, pull up on this little guy too, and that little guy. And keep it from riding the cylinder all the way in. Alright. That's it. Pop it back together. That'll need to want to fix that, but for now we are looking good. Cool. Thanks for watching, guys.